I'm going to show you guys what to expect from an average open track day by walking you through my Buttonwillow event. So before you do anything else, the first thing you want to do is make sure everything's good with your car before you head out to the track. Make sure you have good oil. I got my clutch and brake fluids in here. Everything is good there. And coolant, all that. Just make sure everything's good. You got all your fluids. Make sure nothing's loose on your car. I just checked my tire pressure. The last thing you want to do is find out there's a hole in your tire, like as you get to the track. I'm not going to go over every single item that I'm bringing with me because I have a whole video on that. It's in the track prep playlist. But basically I have my spare tire and some tools, rags, that's always important. I just cut my head on my wing as I was packing up the car. As I ducked under my garage door and went up right into the end plate of my wing. So now I'm in the car about to head out. I got my sleeping bag, my tent, all the things I need, foldable mattress, and then my fuel jugs for E85. Only because I have E85, otherwise I'd have no reason to bring these. So I got to the track at 11 p.m. and set up my tent, unpacked everything out of the car that I can so I don't have to do that in the morning. And then I just kind of ate some food and went to bed. It was really nice out being so cold. I love sleeping in the cold. And then I got up at 7 a.m. the next morning and a lot of cars already showed up. I was surrounded by these Hyundais. And then at 7:20 was the driver's meeting for the advanced drivers. And then after that you check in at the desk. And then after the meeting I just finished up prep on my car by tightening my lug nuts, installing my transponder on the front bumper, and then I deflated my tires down to 29 psi. And then my group was called to start lining up for the tracks. I was in the lower advanced group, so there were 2 advanced groups on this day. They put me in the lower group based off of my previous lap times. But it was still the advanced group, so it was open passing. You do not have to point somebody by out your window for them to pass you. And so after we lined up, we just started heading out to the track. The first lap is just a warm-up lap. You can see I'm going side to side here to warm up my tires, just because this is your chance to warm up your car, get your tires, brakes, and engine all heated up. So we just fast forwarded through the warm-up lap and now we're on to our first green flag lap. We're supposed to be at full speed, but you can see there's a lot of traffic in front of me, so it's going to take a while before we can get up to our normal pace. You can see from this video that there's certain people that probably shouldn't have been in the advanced group with us, but I don't know what it is. People like lie about their lap times or whatever, and then I don't really want to blame the event organizers, but people get put in the wrong groups for sure.
Why are these people in the advanced group? I don't get it.
So now I'm going into the start of my first clear lap with no traffic. So far on the first clear lap here, I actually PR'd. My previous time was 201.994, and this was 201.629. So a couple tenths of an improvement, but we're not done yet. Unfortunately, we came up quick on this DMW and he slowed down my pace a little bit. I thought I was going to be clear to take him over on the inside here, but he completely cut in and shut off the inside entry. So that might have been my fault. Maybe that was a bad move, maybe a little bit dangerous. I probably won't dive bomb somebody on the inside like that again. But sometimes drivers will stick to the outside and give you the racing line on the inside to pass when they know that you're coming up on them. And then we came up on this Sentra again. I don't know how I lapped him because we already passed him in this session. But this slowed down the pace just a little bit. It's not really his fault though, because he actually gave me the racing line. I think I just kind of got a little bit nervous scooping up on him. This ended up not being a PR lap. But now we're going into what was the fastest lap of the entire day here. This is another clear lap. So there you go. That is my new PR at Buttonwillow. I got 2 minutes, 0.818. So that's almost a 1.2 second improvement from last time we were here, with the only change being the hood vents and the fact that it's a little bit cooler outside. But this is really exciting because we're now finally within 1 second territory of breaking 2 minutes. And getting a sub 2 minute lap at Buttonwillow is a huge achievement. It grants you right to entry of the sub 2 club as well, which means you can put a sub 2 sticker on your car. Although I'm not sure if that's actually something that I want to do. But I'll show you guys how the rest of the session went. So we were coming up fast on this Porsche, and I was getting ready to overtake him, but if you look at the flag station on the right, we had a checkered flag. And this is like the very end of the lap. Checkered flag means it's time to return to the pits now, your session is over. So that's kind of weird. They shouldn't really be checker flagging you as you're ending a lap. They're supposed to checker flag you at the beginning of the lap, that way you can set up your cool down lap and cool down your car. So I returned to my spot in the pits and inspected my car. The first thing I noticed is that my brakes were smoking, so that's a new one. It was pretty cold outside, and I know my brakes can get really hot, but I think this means we definitely need some more brake cooling. I actually have brake ducts that I ordered right before this event, but I didn't have time to install them. And the first really important thing you should do to your car when you get back to the pits is check your hot tire pressure. It's really hard to predetermine what your pressure should be when it's cold to get to that optimal temperature when it's hot. While I was waiting for the next session, I heard that there was a car burning down on track. I think I caught it too late to see the smoke, but yeah, this Toyota GR Corolla apparently was burning down. And that's really unfortunate because it keeps happening to these Corollas, and Toyota's refusing to do anything about it.
How's it going?
See, are you running a transponder?
Yeah, Michael DiGuilmi, number 2.
Okay, yeah, you're at 2.
Thank you.
So since I was the second fastest in the group with an official transponder, they had me grid at the number 2 spot going out to the next session, which is good because you do want to grid by fastest to slowest, so that way you do the best job at avoiding any traffic on the track. But it looks like they had somebody go out in front of me. I guess he probably had some kind of unofficial transponder time that he was maybe faster than me, so they put him out in front. I don't know. And then that RX-8 behind him was very not happy about the fact that I was going out in front of him. Nobody respects the G37, man. I'm not going to show the warm-up lap again because it's the same thing as last time. I'll try to skip ahead to any exciting parts of the session. Going into the first green lap here, the RX-8 was really on my tail, so maybe he was a lot faster than me, but I have no way of knowing because he didn't have an official transponder time. So I ended up pointing him by to pass me, and he was actually the only person that passed me the entire day. So we came across a waving yellow flag, which usually means don't push your car to its absolute maximum, and also no passing allowed. And as we come up to the bus stop turn right here, we can see that there's a car off on the right side. But then the RX-8 like braked really hard in front of me, and I passed him, even though I wasn't supposed to, so that's my fault. But I don't know why he braked so hard, I kind of got confused. And then shortly after we got waving black flag, which basically means everybody returned to the pits. They have to assess something on the track. And I was the first person to get to the pits. After 3.5 minutes, they finally let us back out. This means once again we have to do a warm-up lap because we sat still for quite a while. So I went through the warm-up lap and then started my next hot lap, and at the very end of that hot lap, they checker flagged me once again at the end of the lap, which is so frustrating because I was pushing through this lap and I really wanted one more chance to get another PR. I don't understand why they couldn't just checker flag us in the beginning of the lap like normal. Once again, when I returned to the pits, I inspected the car to see that my brakes were smoking even worse this time because it did get a little bit hotter outside. Alright, so we did 2 sessions and I'm ending it because I have some issues going on with the car. It's getting hotter outside. All of our lap times are going down. I PR'd in the first session, and honestly, it's just not worth abusing the car anymore to get like inadequate laps. I'm not going to break sub 2 today, I don't think. Now, the most interesting thing going on with the car that I did not expect is, I don't know if you can see on my windshield there, it kind of already dried off a bit, but there's all that fluid on the right side of my windshield, Now, I originally thought that somebody just like splashed up, I don't know, like somebody used wiper fluid on the track for some reason and it just hit my car. No, this is power steering fluid. Power steering fluid came out of my louvers right there because all the VQs have this issue where power steering fluid just leaks out of the reservoir. And leaked out of the reservoir, I guess the current from the air going into the louvers just like sucked the power steering fluid up and threw it onto my windshield. I gotta finally figure out this power steering fluid issue. Maybe get a cooler, maybe a different reservoir, I don't know. We're gonna just probably try a cooler first. And then issue number 3 was that I had no reading on gas. I thought I fixed the problem with the lever arms in my fuel tank, but apparently not, because it was reading absolute 0 gas when I was at a full tank. So next things we got going on is I'm going to be installing the brake ducts, which are going to be routed right through here onto the brakes to cool the front brakes. And then after that, we're going to probably try to figure out a new power steering cooler. And I also have a short shifter and new shift knob sitting at home that I'm going to install. I didn't get around to that before this track day. All the really experienced drivers also said that the track was really slippery and dusty today, and everybody was like 2 seconds off of their pace, which is pretty crazy. And they tried to convince me that I should be at sub 2 on a better conditioned day. But other than that, I really want to hit sub 2 on the car the way it is. The only thing I think holding me back right now is, besides the brakes giving me a lack of confidence, these tires are not the fastest tires. There's definitely faster 200 treadwear tires as well, but the problem is that when I'm done with these tires, I don't want to stick in 200 treadwear anymore. I want to go down to 100. But I feel like getting sub 2 with 100 treadwear tires is like pay to win, and it's kind of like cheating a little bit. I really want to hit sub 2 on 200 treadwears, but I also don't want to go through another set of 200 treadwears, so I'm kind of like stuck. And then I just emptied the rest of the fuel into my tank so I didn't have to sit with fuel in my jugs while I'm in the car. I hadn't used any of the fuel for the track today because we only ran 2 sessions. And then I inflated my tires back to normal pressures because we took so much out before. On the drive home, my brakes were so cooked and they had so much air in them. I don't know if you can see, but I had to double pump my brakes just for them to work. This is definitely not good, so I really need to figure out this brake situation.